Just to be clear, this isn't my last meeting. Heck, probably not even my last speech before I leave. Likely someone's going to drop out, I'll need to fill in at the last minute, I'll come up with something on the fly. But today felt like the right day to give my see you later speech. When I first joined Toastmasters to November 2009, actually October 2009 is when I joined, November was when I gave my icebreaker. I came to be a better public speaker. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Within 6 months, I was giving my first public seminar on financial planning. I got up in front of an audience, got applause. The feedback forms said I was an engaging speaker. I could have quit right then. Mission accomplished. Within 6 months, I'd already learned that coming to these meetings, you learn something new every day. I walked out from every meeting with a different skill that I hadn't had when I walked in. Within a year and a half, I'd sold my first life insurance policy all on my own. 2 years ago, I took on the role of area governor here at Toastmasters, which put me in charge of 4 clubs along with the articulators. Last year, I won the Young Leadership Award for the Jewish Federation of Greater Orlando. And last week, a company we work with asked if I would do financial planning for their employees. I sat in a conference room all day and did 15 straight financial planning meetings. I could never have done that. Certainly not after 6 months here. It took me time to build up the confidence and the skills to feel comfortable being in that room. And you know what? I understood that the nervousness I felt that day, going into those 15 meetings coming up, was a good thing. I could use it to be more energetic, more excited, really get involved with the person as opposed to clamping down and holding it and trying to channel it into standing still. I learned all that through Toastmasters. I reviewed my first icebreaker just to see what I had written there, if there were any similarities with what I was writing then and what I wanted to say today, and sure enough, there were a lot. Of course, I mentioned how I got my Steelers passion from my dad, and my mom had quickly introduced me to Lord of the Rings. These were things that were important to me and defined me at the time. I concluded that speech talking about how I was in a period of transition. I was getting married, and the wife I chose loves to travel. Beyond that, she likes to live in other cities. I love Orlando. This is where I want to be. I grew up here. I talked about how my parents, who'd been such huge influences on me, were spending more and more time in Sarasota. In fact, they sold their house in Orlando and are full-time Sarasota residents. I see them almost not at all. Over this next 6 months, my wife is going to Germany. One of the places she actually mentioned we might go, and I'm going to Sarasota. She's getting some of her wanderlust out of her system, and I get to go spend time with my parents, who I love very much. Really a great situation for me to be in. What I didn't know when I wrote that first icebreaker is that I was going to add another defining trait for myself, something else that really made me me. I am an articulator. I will always be an articulator. When I go to Sarasota, I'm continuing to pay my membership here. I'll probably join a club there too. Gotta get my Toastmasters fix. But I really need to be a member of the articulators. And that is the symbol. Because even though all but one of the faces has changed since I first gave my icebreaker in November 2009, I still wake up every Thursday morning excited to see my family. I love this club. Fellow articulators, my friends, I'm in another period of transition. If all goes to plan, I'll be back here full-time in February, March at the latest. But no one can see every eventuality, and the future is never certain. But know this: I depart on this adventure a better, more capable, and happier man than I was when I first stepped into the first watch all those years ago. Everyone in this room and everyone who's ever sat in these seats is a part of that. Thank you.